Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Aries. Thanks so much for tuning in for your March 2021 soul story. Happy solar returns to those of you that are March born. But we are into Pisces season right now, which is that 12th house energy. And so the first part of this month is really about allowing the sunset to happen in some area of your life. You know, I think there's a tremendous amount happening behind the scenes for you right now. And part of that process will be a cathartic release, but there's also this real rising sense of invigorated energy and kind of preparing yourself, I think, to welcome in that equinox and the sun moving into your sign later this month. So we open up with the energy of the Hermit, and there really is this profound sense of deep wisdom that's making its way through the course of March to help support you. Now, the month of March, which you're going to be delighted to hear, the stars are aligning. The story of the stars this month is much lighter and sweeter than we have felt for quite some time. Yes, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be experiencing different challenges and things that are ongoing in your life, but it does mean that the universe and the energies are a little bit more supportive and they're not adding salt to the wounds or fuel to the fire, okay? So we open up the month of March with Mars moving into the sign of Gemini, activating that third house of communication, busy making plans, okay? The Hermit suggests those plans will be happening in isolation, like I said, a little bit behind the scenes, but you're really making sure that everything is aligned. You know, you're working on your energy and you're really crossing your I's, dotting the T's, and just making sure that you're really comfortable with some of the changes and some of the things that you're getting ready to launch, to express, or to rebalance in your life. Now, on the 7th, we're going to welcome the asteroid goddess Pallas Athena moving into the energy of Pisces. Now, remember, she is the goddess of war, and so she activates that beautiful warrior spirit within you. And sometimes with 12th house, of course, Pisces rules the 12th house. It can make us feel a little bit unhinged in some ways, you know. It can kind of take us deeply into the subconscious. It's wonderful for our deep psychic connection, our intuition, and, really allowing that energy to unfold and support us as we allow healing and release to take place in our lives. But we also, through the course of this month, really need to prepare and steady and ready ourselves. And, Athena's working with you. She is the goddess of wisdom, of mystical healing, of intellect and compassion. And so you can really draw upon her energy as we approach that new moon in Pisces. There's something exceptionally magical taking place between the 7th and the 13th through March, and I really want you to work to harness that, because it's offering you the opportunity, as you can see, to really walk through a doorway, walk through a portal, and something about that is very synchronistic and fated. I feel like you are wanting to give yourself the opportunity to rebalance areas of your life that previously you have settled or you have self-sabotaged. And I think that's the wisdom that the Hermit is delivering most poignantly for you this month, Aries, yeah? So of course, Pisces season can deliver that high emotion. Mercury moves into Pisces on the 15th. So, it allows us to communicate more openly in a heartfelt way. We have the energy of the sun coming in, and there is this beautiful burst of radiance that wants to come through following a time perhaps where you have been a little bit quieter than usual, feeling more reserved, perhaps feeling more isolated. So there's a step change coming in that I think is really significant. Now, two major energies by way of the major arcana opening up the month of March, I think is really denoting the power and influence that it's going to have in progressing something for you. This synchronicity is something that they want you to harness and they want you to tap into. Of course, you're coming into your Renaissance time, your beautiful rebirth, your solar returns. And so the sun's showing up as a reminder of that. What do we need to clear out and make space for? Where do we allow the sunset so that we can welcome this beautiful new sunrise that's coming in with all of the opportunities that wants to deliver for you? So here we've got the King of Pentacles stepping forth. Now, it may well be an earth sign that you're dealing with. Could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. He's looking directly towards you as this Hermit. Now, even though the Hermit's Virgo energy as well, are they one and the same? In this instance, I don't think so. I really feel this is representative of you. And so the energy of this person looking directly at you, seeing the moves that you're making, watching quietly from a distance, observing you. Now, maybe this is somebody you're aware of, or somebody perhaps on the periphery or on the outside. But, you know, what stands between you and them is this beautiful, radiant, positive burst of sunshine energy. So I think there's a step change that has to come into being before you get closer to understanding what this energy is about, or what this connection has to say to you. Now, I think the communication should feel a lot more open through the course of this month. We are still a little bit in shadow with Mercury retrograde, but all other planets are direct. So again, it's a fantastic month for really starting to take action. Just remember it's okay to say no, Aries, and remember that supporting others doesn't mean that you also need to betray yourself in the process, okay? I think you've learned a great deal in this past year, and as you come into the time where you're going to be reinventing the self and you're really thinking about the areas that you want to allow a release or a let go, that's coming back to you in a really profound moment of awareness. Yeah. Now, this King of Pentacles, I think, is also something that represents security to you, you know, and perhaps you're redefining, reprioritizing that through the month of March in quite a significant way. So he may well also address that rebalancing. So when we come into the sun moving into your sign and equinox energy on the 20th, I think you are really taking stock and allowing yourself to feel more secure, which is going to lead to some important decisions and conversations that you're going to be having. Now, the sun suggests to me there's positive outcomes for that, even if the process feels like you have to walk it alone, and perhaps you're feeling slightly unsupported or unsure about, you know, where you're wanting to move to, or the direction that's kind of unfolding. So a little bit of uncertainty, I think, and some emotions that are going to be attached to that as all of that Piscean energy swirls about and perhaps makes you feel a little bit unsure of yourself. But be aware that knowledge from Athena, that goddess energy coming in to really support you. On the 21st, Venus then moves into your sign, Aries, and that's going to feel super inspired for you by way of getting things moving and really reminding you what you feel passionate and energized about, okay? So we then welcome the Moonchild in this particular deck. There are 3 additional cards, and the Moonchild is one of them. So, you know, this suggestion, I think, of really moving with the cycles and understanding where you are in your own very personal, unique cycle. Of course, we're coming to a time, you know, with that 12th house energy where something is setting, there's closure, there's endings that are taking place, but there's also this understanding, this luminous view of your journey and the new fresh energy that's on its way in. I think you're deeply affected by the cycles more sensitively perhaps than ever before right now, Aries, and so pay attention to that. Use the knowledge to your advantage. You know, see where the moon sits and how the lunar cycle impacts you, and see how it helps to guide you to your intuition, because like I said, between the 7th and the 13th, such a magical time to really, I think, receive signs and validations from spirit, have that psychic connection with your own guides and loved ones that have passed over, but also your higher self to really align with something more powerful as you move through a year where you're commanding your energy more and more. Okay, so we've got the 6 of Swords, which really is about this beautiful rite of passage. And, you know, she stands defiantly holding that sword above her head, and it really brings in this sense of clarity. She knows what it's taken to get to this point. She's aware of the attachments that have been formed and what she now needs to release. And there's like a sacred ritual almost that comes in relation to this. I love actually that we have the representation of Stonehenge behind this as we come toward the the equinox energy as well. So I think around that time it's going to be really important for you to define, to draw a line in the sand, to kind of somehow mark the change that's going to be taking place in your life, and understand that the movement forward is about allowing much more positive vibrational energy to support you, and that's in all areas, you know. So if you are really desiring to see an opening up by way of the relationship aspect of your life, you know, we're going to be making our way to that full moon in Libra on the 28th, so a big revelationary time coming in around then. Of course, Libra being your polar opposite mirror house, Aries, so you'll be learning something really important about the connections and relationships in your life at that point. The Six of Swords does suggest that, you know, there is travel and movement, and it might be symbolically, it might be metaphorically for you, or there might literally be some kind of trip that's taking place, or movement and energy that has felt stuck for some time. There's certainly a sense of optimism and renewal that's coming in really beautifully in and around that, okay? But she looks focused and concentrated, understanding what it takes and the journey that she's on. And I think this is really just reflective, Aries, of where you're at in your own soul journey at this moment in time. Now, you know, January, February were difficult months to start the year, and this is really the opening up and, you know, coming into your time, into your season where the stars are speaking your language. And that's reflected in this beautiful Ten of Cups. See the way that the river's flowing. And actually what I really love is the way this card depicts it. The river flows directly into the water that surrounds her in the Six of Swords here. So this rite of passage is taking you directly towards a time when there's going to be much deeper emotional contentment and fulfillment. And even if that doesn't show up in its entirety for you through the month of March, the signs and the feeling and the awareness of it is certainly going to be shown to you spiritually, and you're going to be feeling it energetically. Now, there are two individuals here that are high up on the rocks and really celebrating something, as are there two people in the sun energy here as well. And so I'm also feeling like it's a time to move away from being so independent or isolated in certain instances, and that you will find that support, that connection that's meaningful and valuable for you, whether it be romantic, platonic, professional, or within friendship context. It's just demonstrating to me that there is important focus in and around the really important people that are going to be making themselves known to you through this month. And there's something about the longevity of that, you know. So people coming in March and April, I really feel, Aries, for you are going to be in this next chapter of your life, and they're coming in on that positive energy, that positive vibration, because you've changed, and they're going to be reflective of that change. So you should find that they are more in alignment with the type of people that you want to be around or surround yourself with. It's not to say that you're letting go of all old relationships, not at all. It just means that you are creating space in your life for some really rich, deep, meaningful connections and conversations to come in. Okay, so we've got the energy of the Knight of Swords. We've got air here, so Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, kind of drawn into the full moon in Libra time, okay? It's interesting because we're sort of seeing this like mirror reflection of him here. It's almost like triple exposure. And so, you know, trying to get a handle on something. Who is this person? Can I trust them? How are they presenting themselves? What version am I getting today? So perhaps a little bit of questioning around that for some of you, or even representative of a situation. Now, the knights are always messengers for us. They're always progressing and moving things forward. But there's certainly a sense of something being a little bit eclipsed here. And again, with the moon child, sometimes that lunar energy can be a little bit unsure. But you know, your hermit is giving you that wisdom and helping you to connect and to ground into something that feels more solid and secure within yourself. So don't look for that validation or explanation by way of others. And I think, you know, back to what we said, it isn't a case that by supporting people, you know, you need to betray yourself. So if there are things that you are doing, ways that you are showing up, or connections and narratives that are ongoing in your life that are feeling unhealthy or negative for you. This is the time when you're really reevaluating and making new choices and decisions. But certainly I feel like there's an element of information and news that's coming in for you, and you may well have choices to make as a result of that. Possibly 3 different options that are being put on the table for you to consider. What you need to understand is this is all about the progress and the movement towards a new level for you. Okay, so whatever area of your life this is showing up, this new level is about you understanding that the options and choices are directly related to your growth, your learning, your development, and your understanding of the wisdom that you've gained by way of experience. So, that's going to translate in the sense of, you can't really get this wrong, but now make a decision and choice based on who you are and who you're becoming, not who you once were. You don't have to make any apologies. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. This came through really strongly in the Pisces reading, and it's relevant for you too, Aries. It feels like it's coming back through. It's like it's not a month where you have to prove your worth. Just live your life. Get on with allowing what is meant to unfold and what your higher self is looking for next, and clearing out where you have settled or self-sabotaged. Perhaps this Knight of Swords is representative of that, either by way of a person or a situation where you felt, I really sold myself short then, and I'm not going to sell myself down the river anymore. I'm making a completely different choice based on that equinox energy coming in to rebalance and harmonize myself. Always powerful ending in and around equinox, and sometimes it can be a little bit upheavaling, but it always welcomes in something that's progressive, because here we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, a second night turned in a completely different direction here. Interesting though, we have 2 figures, one looking to the past, one looking to the future. So you're almost gaining an understanding and appreciation, the wisdom, the knowledge, the information that's really carved out the strength and the courage, is now affording you the new vision of what comes next. But you're definitely turning your back on what is represented by that Knight of Swords. And quite rightly so, I feel, because there's more for you. There's more there's more that you have to offer, and there's more that can be received. The Knight of Wands, of course, more messages, more changes, and perhaps again this aspect of relocation or travel coming in with the Six of Swords and Knight of Wands showing up. So, either plans afoot or actually happening through the month of March may well be really significant for some of you as well. Great energy if you're looking to launch things, actually, because there's some power around the messages of what you have to say. I feel like they're really holding weight. They've got a real sense of gravitas. You've almost taken from Athena the kind of grittier warrior aspect of her energy along with her wisdom, and you're kind of blending that with your beautiful fire, and together it's just creating this really exceptional mix of something that's wholly unique, and is really going to kind of put you much further on than you expected or anticipated. If you are looking to try to see where progress can be made, or looking for a breakthrough, then I definitely see that coming. The fire energy of that Knight of Wands may well be related to a fire sign, or certainly somebody that's going to be coming and sharing good news with you, okay? But there's kind of like it's almost like Spirit is saying, like, to get this, just understand for yourself what you've learned. Not because Spirit needs you to kind of finish the level or somehow pass the test. It's not about that, but it's about for you, It's like the way that you have integrated something and how you are now embodying it. And when you can come to that quiet acceptance, which I think is what the Hermit, and actually the quietness of that Six of Swords is also delivering, you are able to build and support a new level of foundational kind of emotional security and abundance within yourself that is going to allow you to kind of receive the goodness that's wanting to come through with the charge of that night. Because here we have the Nine of Pentacles, and she's just flying out of this portal. It's almost like, if you think about, you've walked through the doorway, you've been on this journey, and the rivers have flown and taken you through all of these landscapes, and now you've kind of been initiated into this new space, one where you feel way more reliant, able to rely on yourself, more of a sense of accomplishment, more of a sense of gain, like things that you perhaps didn't appreciate so much about yourself or your life are now coming into sharp clarity. You're really understanding your value in a beautiful new way, and it's something to celebrate. And I love that she's dressed in white because it feels really pure, Aries, you know? There's no hidden games here. There's no illusion around it, and nor should you feel that way. You know, this is just as a result of the absolute rite of passage that you've taken of late. And it's something that they want to remind you of. So even if you find yourself in situations where you're still waiting, or things feel harder than you would like them to be right now, the journey and what you are receiving as a result of this is only going to benefit you. It's only going to benefit you. And honestly, like the emergence of the King of Pentacles surrounded with the Sun and the Ten of Cups also suggests to me that those of you that are seeking or looking for support by way of an external financial either company or person or situation, the outcome feels far more favourable, even if not immediate. There may be a few more hoops to jump through, but I just have a sense of things coming together. You know, there's something to celebrate here. As long as we recognise, you know, the parts of ourselves where we have settled or self-sabotaged, because perhaps that's where you're blocking some of the abundant energy that is ready to flow freely towards you. You know, you're going to be stepping into your sun energy. There's no more beautiful a time to really revel in all that makes you special and unique and worthy of the life that you're seeking. So let's go just pull a quick oracle card and see how this is coming through. Okay, rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. I mean, this is very Piscean, isn't it? We have the beautiful mermaid and Poseidon in the background here, and beautiful dolphins coming through. So Pisces season, you know, that 12th house energy, your hermit here. There's something about timing through this month of March that you need to afford yourself that sacred rest. It will be so beneficial to your clarity of mind, but also to help you to know at the exact moment when you need to act. There is the wisdom to know better. You know, there's something about the wisdom to know better. Don't do what you have always done that burns you out, either emotionally or physically or mentally. This is a time to really prioritize that self-care in really important new ways to make sure you get the rebalancing right. Doing that ahead of the equinox is really going to support the energy much more strongly for you. And like I said, you know, between the 7th and the 13th, there's something deeply magical. So more time that you can be quiet in, you know, that meditative kind of space, I think you're going to receive some really astounding visions and insights that are going to be very supportive for you by way of what comes next through March, April and beyond. Okay, Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Well, you're taking a real beautiful leap of faith here into the unknown, but you're also understanding of the journey that you're on and what you're gaining every step of the way, you know. There are no outer planetary clashes through the course of this month. So like we said, the story of the stars are really supportive to wanting to see you do well this month. It's like, think about it like you have, you know, the best teachers, the best tutors, the best environment, and everything is working in your favor. So with that said, how can you allow yourself to take on board all of the wisdom of what you've been going through and reframe it in the most beautifully poignant and positive way? I know it's not always easy, but that sense of learning, that sense of advancement of your own understanding is going to be so beneficial in terms of how you interact with the experiences, with the people, and with what is going to show up through this month of March for you. So remember, we're going to be letting that sun go down on some aspect of our life, and that requires a gentle, nurturing release. So be kind to yourself, but at the same time, we are gearing up for something really beautiful, really powerful, welcoming in the new. So listen, Aries, this is a general reading for the month of March. If you've enjoyed listening, then please do drop me a like and a comment. You can also hop onto the extended, and we're going to just continue this narrative for another 20 minutes or so, go into some deeper messages. And I just invite you to think about a question that I might not have answered in the main part of the spread. So it is a general read. We'll pull a couple of cards for you, and we'll go into that in the next reading. You can find the link for the extended reading just in the description box underneath the video, or the comment section. It's just a way to support my work, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so let's just clarify this main Hermit energy. We've got the energy of strength coming in, which makes sense. So the Six of Shells, which is representative of the Six of Cups in this Spirit Song Tarot deck. Very reflective time, I think, just coming in at that first part of March. So the Five of Acorns represents the Wands, or the fire energy, with the sun, which I love. It's just like you are ready for the challenge. You're ready, you're up for it, and there's just going to be some meaningful growth that's coming in. The Page of Shells, so that's like your Page of Cups energy coming through. Five of Feathers is like air energy, okay? Eight of Crystals here. We have Coins and Pentacles, along with that King of Pentacles coming behind it, and also the King of Swords. Again, there's quite a strong masculine energy coming in, but by way of perhaps outside institutions, companies, or some kind of legal process that you might be dealing with at the moment as well. But Four of Wands coming in with a sense of balance and harmony. Okay, the Moonchild is bringing in the Tower, which of course is about that act of release. Revelation coming through. Four of Cups. Three of Cups there, beautiful. And the Chariot. Oh, I love that energy coming in for you. So much movement happening. And look at that, the Fool, the Traveller. Energy of Death coming in with transformation here. And the Nine of Cups. Lovely. These are just such beautiful cards. They felt very Piscean for this season. So the Ace of Crystals coming in. So beautiful new beginnings when you allow yourself to let go of where you've settled, where you've sabotaged. Oh, the Star, beautiful. I know this energy of the Knight of Wands is so positive for you. Nice, Queen of Pentacles energy coming, Queen of Wands rather, and the Sun, beautiful. Sun coming in a couple of times here in this reading for you, Aries. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. If you'd like to join me for the extended, we'll go a lot deeper into these conversations and see what more we can unearth for you. But thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to wish you beautiful blessings for those of you with a birthday this month. And I really look forward to tuning in for April and celebrating even more with you. Take good care. Bye-bye.